Hello and welcome to this tips and tricks video on performance challenges of large step import files. Are you familiar with this situation and this desire? Large import files often contain a large number of very small parts that are not needed for layout drawings, for example, but may be important for an interference detection. It is therefore not a solution to simply delete these small parts. It would be great if you could switch between two configurations, default and simplified, after the import. This is what the assembly should like, configuration default. The second image shows the complexity and variety of small parts, most of which are located inside the assembly. And this is what the assembly also should like, a configuration simplified. The image on the right shows the reduced assembly after the simplification process. When we use the finished assembly with the two configurations, it takes only 46 seconds to open the default configuration. It takes only about half the time to open the reduced assembly with the configuration simplified. Perfect, of course, if you can quickly implement this using two configurations. This is the final result, which we will now implement. The default configuration has no suppressed parts. The simplified configuration has 9,700 suppressed parts. Now we will go through all 10 steps to get the simplified configuration in all documents. Create assembly and part templates in Solidworks with an additional configuration simplified. Set system options to use these templates as default. Define the step import options. Import the step file in Solidworks. Save the Solidworks assembly and parts. All now have an additional configuration simplified. Close the Solidworks assembly, open Solidworks assembly with the option Advanced. Switch to configuration New, delete the configuration Simplified, rename New to Simplified. Start the simplification process. And then switch on demand to configuration Default or Simplified. We can open step files in eDrawings to view it and see the orientation. Here is pointing Y upwards. We need to adapt the templates with the desired second configuration simplified. Of course, both templates, part and assemblies. Here the part template. And here the assembly template. On the left the default templates and on the right the important option always use these default document templates. The system options for the step import. The import of the step file takes 4 minutes and 40 seconds and the assembly contains about more than 11,000 components. Saving the assembly takes also 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Since the simplified configuration were created in the templates, they now appear after the step import in the Solidworks assembly and of course also in the parts. The advanced option is one of the most important steps in the entire process. Define a new configuration New and use specified configuration Simplified. The Solidworks assembly is opened and the new configuration is active. Switch to configuration Default. Of course, also all configurations in sub-assemblies and parts are switched to default. Please delete the configuration Simplified, rename New to Simplified and switch to Simplified. For the simplification we will use the filter Select Internal Components. The selection is saved as a set. More than 9,700 parts are found inside the assembly. And now we suppress also 9,723 internal parts in the configuration Simplified. The assembly looks the same as before, but is empty inside and has 9,723 suppressed components in the configuration Simplified. Here the configuration Simplified with the second view. The assembly is now completely empty inside. Once again, for comparison, the default configuration with no suppressed components. The configuration Simplified is in all sub-assemblies and in all parts. Solidworks treehouse is used to show the hierarchy of this main assembly, the sub-assemblies and the parts, and shows all configuration in all documents, in main assembly, in sub-assemblies, and in parts. That's it for today's tip. This tip will help you to manage your large import assemblies better and faster. If you found this helpful, like and share this video, and don't forget to check out other 30th anniversary tips and tricks. Thank you very much for watching.